Hey, welcome back everybody to Full Throttle Drive. Thank you guys so much for joining me on today's video. So we're going to do a video that's never been done before, and that is going to be the 5 things that kind of suck about the Audi R8. And yes, there's not many of them, and it took us a while to figure out exactly what they were, and some of them are actually a little bit iffy and probably really nitpicking just to get there. And that says a lot about just how great this car is. But we were able to come up with 5 different things that we did not like about the Audi R8 just for your entertainment. So the very first thing that I have an issue with is the Audi Navigation Plus system. Now this is the Plus. This is the better system that they actually introduced the vehicle with. It has the navigation. Everything is upgraded on this system. Now it is 10 years old, so I have to take that into retrospect that this is a very outdated system. But when you're using it, the infotainment system is just very odd. It does not work very well. It's very clunky. I'm actually going to show you guys that right now. So as we take a look at the Audi Navigation and just the infotainment system in general, the screen is definitely very small. Now at the time it wasn't, that was a actually very nice screen 10 years ago, but when you have things like the Tesla Model S that have massive screens in it, this is definitely very slow. Now the way this infotainment system works is you actually use these clicking pieces in these corners to actually click around. So you can go to band, you can go to sound, and then you actually click up here to move around. So if we want to go to our navigation, we can go, and it's very unintuitive. It does not work very well. This is probably one of my biggest things. You know, the AM/FM works. Another huge thing is there's no Bluetooth on this vehicle. My understanding is either a year or 2 after this model they introduced Bluetooth. Unfortunately, we did not get it. So between AM/FM and the amazing sound of this engine, that's about all we have for listening for audio in the vehicle. So unfortunately, it's that way. Now you can hook up your telephone, but it will not actually stream Bluetooth. So technically, I should say it has Bluetooth, just not streaming Bluetooth capabilities. So then there's some info about the car. It'll let you know. Yep, thank you. And it will let you know all kinds of different things about the way you set up the audio. But again, at the same time, it's just very clunky. It doesn't work that well. Newer generation Audi is so much better. And again, you got to take into consideration, and I do as well, that 10 years old is very old. So again, this is probably, if I had to nitpick, the downgrade. Now, if you guys remember, I have to kind of nitpick because I upgraded the audio system and the whole touchscreen in my C6 Corvette. It was amazing. It had Bluetooth, it had iPod and iPhone capability. It had everything. Navigation, it was perfect. Apple CarPlay was incredible. Unfortunately, I've now downgraded in the audio area for this vehicle, and so that is my #1 gripe with this car. So the second problem that I have with the Audi R8 is I do love the seats. The seats are incredible. They're very comfortable. Love them. They hold you in place. But the downside is the leather they used was a very soft leather grain. Again, feels great, but it scratches extremely easy. Unfortunately, on my drive back, I have a metal money clip, and on our drive back, I didn't even notice till we got home, I had scratched the seat, and you guys are actually seeing an overview of that scratching on the seat. It almost sickens me. I'm gonna try and figure out what it is I can do. If any of you guys actually have any comments on what I can do to try and, get the leather to maybe push out these scratches or kind of to rub the scratches in so they're not as noticeable. I don't know if I'm really hesitant to use any type of chemical on them. Unfortunately, it's something I may just have to live with, but I hate the fact that I did that, and I never use my money clip anymore when I'm driving the Audi R8. Just something to take into consideration, but that is my second issue with the vehicle. So my third point that I have that the Audi, it's not as bad as I was expecting. I had read before I bought the vehicle that a lot of people had issues with blind spots. I don't have as big of a problem, but there definitely is. Now, you can see as you look back here that I have a blind spot over there and over there. Those big columns where the side blades actually sit on the exterior of the vehicle do cause a blind spot. Also behind me, you can see out the back. There's no issue seeing out the back, but it is a much smaller view than a normal vehicle. So you have to be extra cautious. And something I want to actually bring up, and you may have already heard people say this, but people follow supercars. This Audi R8, people will follow me. They get closer than a normal car. And so you have to take into account that people are a lot closer to you than you expect. So I'm always double checking as I look left and right. I'm really trying to make sure that there's no one in my blind spot or anybody tailing me, because as I'm making, changing of lanes, I really have to take that into consideration. So my blind spots do affect me, and it's one of those kind of gripes that it just comes with the territory of the shape of this vehicle, but they are there. You want to use your mirrors. You really almost, I'll show you, I almost have to like pull up and look way over here. It looks a little crazy, but I want to make sure there is no one right in that blind spot. It just can happen. So again, that's probably my third issue with the vehicle. Now my fourth issue, which is actually probably my largest issue, is with the exhaust. Now, the engine sounds amazing. It's planted right behind your head. You notice it all the times that you're driving it. But the exhaust, it just doesn't have the spirit, the spunk, just the aggression of what this V8 is truly capable of. So that is going to be one of my biggest upgrades. Now the C6 Corvette I owned before this, same thing. When I purchased it, had no life to the exhaust note. As soon as I got a new exhaust, that changed completely. So I know going with a new exhaust, especially one that doesn't have all of the extra, isolating, parts in it that kind of quiet down inside the tubes, that will make a big, big difference. But unfortunately, as of now, you guys probably already know this, it just does not sound very good. I'm actually going to start it up for you right now. So as you guys can tell, the depth is there. The engine definitely roars to life, but the exhaust just does not do it justice. It could be a whole lot better, and it is definitely going to be. So the fifth and final gripe that I have with the Audi R8, and remember, I have the V8, so it's 420 horsepower over 320 pound-feet of torque. It's not as fast as the V10, and I would say maybe it would be performance. I've talked about this before, and performance is kind of subjective. Some people know what a 1,000 horsepower vehicle feels like. Others would think this is blazingly fast. I kind of am right in the middle. I know how quick this car is. It actually doesn't even feel, it's a little bit faster than my Corvette. It doesn't feel as fast as my Corvette because it's smoother. It doesn't have as much of the emotion, or I shouldn't even say emotion, as much of the rawness as my C6 Corvette had. So it feels smooth. When you look down at the speedometer, you're going much, much faster than you anticipated. So that comes with the territory, but at the same time, Z06, especially a ZR1, would absolutely clobber this in a race. It's not slow, but it's not, it's not a sub 3, even a sub 4 second car. It's right about 4 seconds, 4.10 to 60. So you kind of have to take that into consideration. And for the money I paid for it, I would have liked to have maybe a little bit more performance. But at the same time, there is a lot of things that I can do if you want to put the money into it, or I could always jump up to the V10 if so I need to do that. But as it sits right now, I love the car, and the performance is maybe the smallest of issues if I have to nitpick, as I was saying, but that would probably be my fifth and final issue with the Audi R8. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this fun video over the Audi R8. I seriously love the car. Again, we've only had it about a month now, and I'm in absolute love with the vehicle. But if we had to nitpick, those were 5 of our things that we really kind of had to push back, that we did not care for. But overall, awesome, awesome vehicle. We hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please hit that like button. Subscribe if you have not already. If you're a subscriber, thank you as always for your support. Lots of new cool things in the pipeline. Very, very excited to share with you guys. Again, thank you again. Take care, and I'll see you next video.